We've all had a lot of teachers in our lives, and most of them, maybe 98%, are not worth remembering. But there's a 2% portion of the teachers we've had that have touched our souls. And when a teacher can do that when you're young or old, doesn't matter. If you've had your soul touched, you don't forget what they were giving to you. And I'm thinking of two today, and one was George Baptiste, who was a guide. Early on in my life as a canoeist, I'd been sent to a canoeing camp. I did like it, and I went back and became a counselor. And the long trip that I took with 10, 12 other kids, and a counselor and this Indian guide, was in the Nakina area of Ontario. And George had the habit of never wanting to get his feet wet. So if we were going to get our feet wet going this way, and it was 10 more miles around that way, he'd take us 10 more miles around that way so he didn't get his feet wet. And one time I was the baker for the group. I was trying to start a fire on a really wet day. And George just walked by and he emptied his pockets of dry cedar chips. And that started the fire. He never said anything to me. And he was a wonderful inspiration in terms of woodcraft. He showed me so much without telling me very much. And I've always admired his input into the beginnings of that little tiny sense of I want to do this type of thing. And the other man is Robert Newman, Robert S. Newman, who was my mentor and painting teacher when I was in my 20s and 30s. And he was so different from any other professor or teacher that I'd had. And he was a painter. And he was teaching at Harvard University when I met him. He was like a fish out of water because he was actually creating things at a time when Harvard really didn't support that. They love the outcomes, but they don't want to support students being creative themselves. Somehow they feel that's a second-class citizen. Anyway, that was the feeling we had in the 70s. And Bob was there teaching. It was able to be counterpoint to so many things that I'd lived in my life. He wasn't telling me what to do. He's just suggesting I think about this, or what would you read this, or how about putting red next to that yellow? And it just opened up as a blossom opens up inside a flower. It opened up inside me a great desire to create things that are either in a story, in a film, in a painting, or a drawing. But I think we all have those teachers. And I'd suggest if they're still alive, drop them a note, give them a call. Tell them what they meant to you.